Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2019, Career Mode episode number 88. Still in the midst of the Giro d'Italia. It's stage 15 now, so we're into the back third of the race. And somehow, we lead this thing. Remco Evenepoel in lights out form right now. And a bunch of teammates, likewise, has created that perfect storm of we keep surviving stages and have yet to be dropped at any point. And while we pretty much are never alone at the finish line, it's a different subset of riders with us kind of each time. And one by one, everybody else is having a bad day, a bad stage, time losses. And somehow we've pulled into that race lead and starting to open it up just a little bit. I don't think we're in a position to say that we're the favorites to win this thing at this point. But it is certainly a possibility. We've got the jersey, right? I mean, we've got to be considered, but we're far from the favorite. Another tough stage here on 15. We'll pick things up probably at the halfway point around the second sprint point because there's a lot of climbing still to do after that, and I'm sure, unlike some of the other stages, the pace is going to be a lot higher on this one. It's only 161 kilometers, so it's a little bit shorter, and it's climbs that are coming at you again and again and again. I mean, you can see there's only 12 kilometers between these two. The climb itself is a little under half of that, or just slightly over a third of that, really. So it's only about 35-40%. 60% straight down allows you to kind of recover. So there's going to be a lot of pace in those climbs. And while I don't expect this one to be that one or two riders left kind of stage, it's definitely still going to be a small group because I think that, like I said, the pace is going to demolish a lot of the riders. Back a little earlier than I planned, but there's more to manage in this race, or this stage, than previous stages. The last few stages, since we took the race lead, early on you could see that they'd want us to take control of the peloton. But I'd wait around, let the lead get out a little bit, and coax other teams into the chase, which so far they have done successfully. Their positions are threatened before mine is. Today's stage, that wasn't the case. The first climb of the day, the lead was already out to 7 minutes, so I had to sacrifice Peterson, Dianigi to go to the front, begin chasing them back. They brought it back from 7 minutes to about 5.5. But then finally, as we slowly brought it back, without expending too much energy for Peterson and Dianigi, finally we got to that point where other teams stepped up and got involved in the chase. I've since then pulled back Peterson and Dianigi, giving them a break. They've already recovered. Gap's at 5 minutes, though. It's a pretty big gap, especially for a breakaway group that has 26 riders in it. I'm going to go ahead and set these two once again, try to go to the front and work on that chase. It's down to 4.5 minutes, so it's definitely coming back the right direction. You can see even just a 74 pace is enough for both of them to go straight to the front. Try about a 73 and see if they can spend that energy. There you go. Antonio Nibali. So, Bahrain, Merida, Sky. Yeah, teams involved. That makes perfect sense as they are the other ones at the top of the standings. So we're not the only ones doing the chasing. Alright, so this climb, 6.4 kilometers, 9% is the gradient. Very steep at the top. It's going to do some damage to the field, but I think at a 70, 73-ish pace from guys who aren't the best climbers, it's going to do damage and it's going to thin the peloton, but it's not going to hurt my majority of my guys. just the ones providing protection. Peloton already down to 95 as we kind of speed through this climb here. Starting to reel in the first of the breakaway riders who have been dropped. Gaps actually back out to 6 minutes and 20 seconds. So some of the breakaway riders have actually attacked this climb pretty hard. Pedersen, Dianigi have led the chase. They've almost made it to the top. And they're the ones who have really thinned this field. Now just 43 riders together over the top. I like that. That really has thinned the field out significantly. Pedersen and Mater have been dropped. A little surprised to see Mater out the back from his teammates' effort, considering he is a much better climber than they are. Dianigi still pulling at the front, so that's good. Now, where does that leave me with everybody else? Garfield, you're not going to protect Felci anymore. You're going to protect McNulty. And we have Gottwald protecting Evenepoel. Felci is going to ride alone. Speaking of riding, we need water again. 45k. Garfield, go ahead and grab it. Okay, gaps back to 440. Dianigi, we're going to have to ride harder than this. So go 75. Alright, breakaways almost entirely back together. It's 24 riders of the 26. So we caught one, and there's one in no man's land who we are now catching up to. Garfield? Come on, how you doing, buddy? There we go. Okay, task of water is done. We approach the final 3 climbs, and they go from most difficult to least difficult in that order as we chase these guys down. Peloton's only twice the size of the breakaway as we reel in the guy who's been in no man's land, and they still have a 3.5 minute gap. That is definitely not an easy catch, but we'll do what we can. Dianigi, Cornish-Rogel. Our 80 is now a little bit of a struggle. We'll step it up just slightly. 82 is all I'm going to do. I think we don't run the risk really of getting dropped. At least I don't expect. Dianigi going backwards. He's kind of taking a few guys with him. We'll see how he can do with that. Oh, who is that? Oh, that's Lopez struggling at the back. Is that Lopez really struggling at the back? Looks like it. Alright, well, there goes our guy on the front, but Barry and Marita still giving chase. That's good. And the gap's coming down a little bit, and the front group is starting to split up again. Garfield's not going to last much longer. Go ahead and use your gel. Gottwald's not going to last much longer. Go ahead and use your gel. Like I said, this is the hardest of the 3 climbs. We're already halfway up. Garfield now going backwards. Okay, set you to auto, and that means Felci. You need to protect McNulty.
Their front group is disorganized, and some riders are exploiting this opportunity to attack.
Make that Evenepoel. Because Gottwald's the latest victim. He's dropped. 38 riders in the peloton. Some of that now is breakaway riders, so we are starting to pull those guys back towards the top of this climb. That's good. But there's still a 4 minute gap, so there's still a rider or two going for the KOM points that have opened the gap yet further. Gottwald's in the peloton. Really? I would say no. That's not the peloton. There's definitely some riders here. Craddock, I would think. Valgren going backwards. Toyne's about to get dropped. Arguides survives over the top for Sky. And I've got 3 left, so Felci's still here. That's good for McNulty. This is the best chance to recover the rest of the way. Just 36 riders. But there's still a lot of riders out in front of us, and their gap is actually out to 5.5 minutes. Which means we're going to switch this up. McNulty's going to provide protection now. We're also going to step up your pace. And Felchi, it's your turn, buddy. You are going to ride the tempo at the front. Okay, this... Oh no! Peterson, that's not the first time. Okay, we're seeing a big acceleration here. Let's reorder this as they attack. Felchi's gel just kicked in too, so this is good. Alright, is 91 enough pace?
Counterattack by Quintana.
Lopez, Sosa attacking. That's it, right? Yeah. Bardet now attacking. Felchi's done. Okay.
Attack by Bardet.
We're almost to the top here.
Cow, that was a fall.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Tempo-wise, you're good. McNulty, there you go.
Attack with the finishing line within reach.
A lot of those guys are now done. We're approaching the top here. Just 21 riders left in the group. Four-minute gap. We're not catching. The breakaway is going to take the stage. Hopefully none of those guys remaining. Let's find out for a second. Ciccone, 28 minutes. Grossschartner, 14. Masnada, 23. And Dan Martin is 18. And Enric Mas at the front, 34 minutes behind. So that's the 5 riders away. McNulty, we're going to use your gel now. You're going to lead this chase up the hill. And then Evenepoel. 3.4%. 4%. Okay, this is what we were waiting for. 6K to go. Go ahead and sit up. Go ahead and sit up. Okay. Again, sit up. Just trying to hold you near the front and let you last as long as we can. What just happened? Why is Evenepoel not on your wheel? Stay over. There you go. Okay, get out here to the side. 3K to go. Alright, Evenepoel, unlike these other guys, is full strength now. So just nice and easy. Nice and easy. To the front, 2K to go. Sorry, Felchi. Okay, we might catch 4 of these guys. Alright, Evenepoel, start to speed up.
Alone against all. It required a lot of energy and
Enric Mas has won the stage. 700 meters. Evenepoel has pulled out a little bit to the lead here. And we're going to sprint same time. This is the fight for second. Fulsang, Lopez, Sosa, Bernal, Evenepoel, Quintana. This is kind of what I expected. It's a group finish. We got 13 riders.
the tailenders are still coming in.
Unfortunately, McNulty loses a little bit of time on this one. He'll finish with that little group. But again, this is not about him. It's really not about him. We are absolutely riding for Evenepoel. McNulty will we'll take whatever finish we can get with him, see if we can get him in the top 10. But for Evenepoel, this is good. He lost time to no one. Not many riders lost time to him today, though. But this was the kind of stage that was going to be difficult. You could lose a lot of time, but it was going to be difficult to gain time on a stage like this one. The way those climbs were suited to each other. But as they were front end heavy, it was definitely something you could lose a ton of time on if you got dropped. Because you would have been dropped early, not late. Let's see how strong Astana was at the end. No wonder Lopez won. Alright, so 59-second lead over Lopez. Yates 122, Bennett 4 minutes, Fulsang 4 minutes, Bernal 5, Carapaz 7, McNulty still in 8th place. Sosa at 9, Quintana at just under 10. Into the time trial, just over 30 kilometers, so it's fully time trial rating. So McNulty has a 76 today. Gottwald reaches the finish in 16th place. I finally figured out the balance, and it's 73 for the first almost 2 sectors. It's the first 2/3 of the stage. And then it'll conserve a little bit of energy because the back third undulates quite a bit. You don't see it from here. It's a long time trial. It looks fairly flat. But there you go. That back third, you can see, actually, there's a lot of up-down to it, including right before the finish. Excuse me. A lot of time is gained or lost in that final third of this stage. So saving that little bit more energy and pushing through there, you definitely gain more with the up-down nature of it. Pedersen just outside of the top 10, should have been higher, but he went first and I went too hard. He was really good through the first 2 sectors, but ran out of energy late and lost a ton of time. Evenepoel just about ready to set off. 84 on the time trial today. He has got to win this thing. Got to. All right, so Felci has been kind of the prime one that I had it figured out by time Felci went. He's in 11th. Gottwald's not a good time trialist, that's why he's only in 19th. And I was already focused on McNulty by that point. But these guys should be putting in a better time. McNulty is 76. He's got good on the downhill, good on the mountain for those little sequences. Evenepoel is also. So Geraint Thomas now goes to the top ahead of Stefan Kuhn. Basically 42 minutes. Now you can see top 20 is only spread by 2 minutes, but the bulk of the field is about 3 to 4 minutes behind, so there's really a chance. Now this is where we need to step this up. So we're going to go to a 76 initially, and then we'll see what McNulty has left. Evenepoel definitely not there yet. McNulty in the top 10 through the first 2 sectors. Let's slow this down a little bit here. And Evenepoel is first at the first time check, even though he's only going a 73. I like that a lot. That means he's turning a really good pace and still conserving quite a bit of energy. So McNulty, we're going to start pushing a 78 as he goes into these final stages. That means Evenepoel, we're going to speed up now. At least a little bit. 75. Okay, McNulty. Yeah, 78. It's definitely burning faster. 1.5k to go for him. 1k to go. Okay, push 99. This is the place to push. You get over the top here, and then you get this little downhill finish, and the energy ran out right at the finish line. 5th place, 26 seconds down. That's a really good time for McNulty. In fact, he's only 5 seconds out of 2nd place. Evenepoel just went through the big climb. It's short, but it's steep. And that's definitely one of those places where you make up some time. And he's still really good on energy. So we're going to push about a 79 now, I think, all the way towards the finish. And he's just going to cruise through here. He's already in 1st place, both at the 1st and 2nd check. And Look who we are catching. Well, maybe not. We round the corner and he's disappeared from sight. Okay, I think you can push actually even harder. 81 here. 2K to go. 1K to go. 99. 99. This is the last little climb. Attack, 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 attack. Okay, he didn't catch Lopez, but he just crushed it by a minute and a half. Oh, look who's going to win this race. Oh, I think he's going to win this race now. I would have said entering this stage that the odds had increased where I previously said 15%. After surviving another climbing stage, I would have said 20%. But he didn't just win this time trial. He didn't just gain time. He crushed this time trial. Okay, it's not over yet. 4th place is done. He's on the podium. I will tell you with 100% certainty, a 7-minute and 21-second gap, he is on the podium. Lopez and Yates are now the only threat to the overall. It's not over with them. You can certainly lose that time, especially if he loses that fitness peak before the end of the race with a big climbing stage, and if he ends up with a negative race day condition, it could be a struggle, and he could certainly lose 2 to 3 minutes in one stage. Could absolutely happen. Leads the points classification. Crushing the under 25s. Bernal, though, has moved ahead of McNulty in a second. Still second in the team classification. We're a little further adrift of Sky now, but way, way ahead of 3rd place. First year in the World Tour, and we're doing this. Alright, so McNulty takes 8th on the stage. That ends up being a really good time himself. Bernal was 20th. Alright, so general classification. Here we are. Evenepoel 2.5 minutes ahead of Lopez. It's not over. It's not over. But that is a good gap. Lopez is a better climber. Yates is a better climber. It won't be easy. And they will try. And they'll try to attack early. McNulty's going to be hugely important to us to reel those guys back in to save Evenepoel for the end of the stage. But I think we can win this now. No, it's definitely not 20%. I'd say we're up to probably 60% odds that we're going to win this thing now. And I'd say 100%. As long as Evenepoel does not crash out of this race or crash and lose a ton of time on a stage. If he stays on the bike, he will definitely finish on the podium. And has a real shot at winning this thing now. McNulty still 8th place. Oh, that's funny. The time losses and the time gains that he has had has kept him in the top 10, which is nice. That was stage 16. Brief look, what is left? 17. Easy peasy, but I'm going to have to participate. I don't think I'm going to even show you the end because it's going to end up being sprinters. So I have to participate, otherwise there will be time losses. But I think I'll see you next on the final climb of 18. One climb to rule them all. One climb to bind them. No. 19. That's going to be interesting. I think it's going to come back together a bit before the final climb, but that's going to destroy the field. And then a little recovery, but then bam, they climb again. Not severe, but I think by here, so long before that final climb that it's going to go from a tiny group to a much larger group, maybe 50 or 60 riders even, before that final climb. And that's the stage I'm talking about. This one. This one could have big time gaps. This one could easily have 2 or 3 minutes because you can have it down to solo already by here. And then the last climb could really spread it out. So I was going to bypass this stage entirely, and it's turned out exactly how I expected. A few riders dropped. And there you go. It's going to be a sprint stage. I was looking at my riders going, I have no sprinters here. Well, Peterson has got a little bit of sprint capability, so it's like, why not? We'll see how high we can get him. Top 5? Sure. No, probably not. Top 10? Sure. Yeah, I think so. But then the breakaway, that was only 2 minutes away. The breakaway had 2 minutes. All of a sudden, in the last 5 kilometers, it just went out to 5 minutes, and we didn't even really sit up. We kind of just went along at our pace, and the breakaway just accelerated, and they just pulled out a massive lead, all in a matter of seconds in game because I was going at an accelerated pace. So I'm going to have Evenepoel follow Peterson and McNulty follow Evenepoel. So these guys are safe, and then we'll set up a sprint trade with these guys. I don't think we're going to get close enough now, though. Mader's got some acceleration. Gottwald's got a little bit. Dianigi's got a little bit. I think Dianigi might be the fastest. Was it Felci? No. Mader. So, Garfield. Okay, Garfield's already in a good position at the front. That's good. And we're going to use his gel. That's 14K. I don't think we're going to close this gap now, though. When it was 2 minutes, it was iffy. It was not over. But at 4.5 minutes, it's over. $1.4K. That is it. Yeah, see, we're barely pulling any time back, even riding at a 97. This stage is just way too easy. I have no idea why this is considered a punchy stage when there's 3 small climbs.
The finish line is getting close. The riders just passed the 5 kilometers road sign.
7.5K. And all we've done is pull back 30 seconds. If we pulled them back from 2 to about 1.5, 1.5 was maybe doable. Because we've pulled back a full minute now.
And he moves on to the attack. It could be decisive.
And we've split the peloton. And today is a day that you could actually see those time gaps being given at something. 3K to go. They've already crossed the line. We've pulled back a minute plus, but again, not enough. Here comes the actual sprinters. Peterson's going to get there first. Peterson gets there first. Ahead of all the sprinters. So he did it.
We're waiting for the back markers who appear to be fairly numerous in this.
But it was still only for 7th place. Small gaps, I don't think any of them will actually be given. But again, this wasn't seen as a sprint stage. So, will we get a gap? Was anybody caught out by it? Here's to hoping. There's your breakaway. 3:04 was the gap here. So we pulled back a minute 40. And like I said, it was at 2. If they had continued to accelerate, they would have pulled back maybe 30 seconds instead of giving up 2 minutes. That would have made it a minute 30. We pulled back a minute 40. we would have caught the break if only the riders at the front hadn't sat up. So Pedersen, Colbrelli, and then Evenepoel, so he would have had a time gain out of that. Not that I think the stage would have gone exactly the same had there actually been a sprint finish instead of a breakaway taking the stage. Got Wild McNulty up there. Time gap, no time gap. No time gap given. Just these guys at the very, very back. So they treated it like a sprint stage. It was quite a few kilometers away when that group was dropped, but no time gaps given. All right, that's 17 in the book. We've got 18, 19, 20, and then 21. 3 climbing stages to go to decide this race. And we've got a 2.5 minute gap. I like our chances of winning this race. Yes, I'm finally using that word. I think we have a good chance of winning this race. I'd say we have definitely better than 50% chance. Maybe better than 60% now. Maybe we can push it towards 2/3. 66.666666% chance that we're going to win this race. I'm still not ready to call it done and dusted. Podium, though. I think that huge gap to 4th place, 7 minutes plus, no way they're catching us. Let's just hope he does not crash out in these last 3 stages. Or the final stage. That would suck. That would really suck. Get to the final stage. Ahead, leading, and then crash out of the race. Oh, man. So here's where we're at in the points at this stage in things. For one thing, Philipsen, Evenepoel jumping to 6th place now. But as a team, 9,300 points. Over 6,000 now. We're not massively ahead of Ducati Quick-Step, but it's the end of May, right? We're at the halfway point of the season. We're going to potentially win the Giro and strengthen our lead, but we lead the World Tour and Super Prestige points. First year in the World Tour. I did not expect this. I did expect to do well. I mean, we've already seen we can perform. I didn't expect this. I certainly did not expect to be leading the Giro d'Italia at this point in time. This is crazy. I'm a Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.